Hello viewers, so today we'll talk about FAAS, which is also known as Function as a Service. We'll see in detail what is meant by FAAS, why to use FAAS, what is the difference between AS, PaaS and SaaS. So FAAS is also called Function as a Service. It is a cloud computing model that runs code in small modular pieces or microservices. FAAS enables developers to create and run a single function in the cloud using a serverless compute model. Providers then manage the physical hardware, virtual machines, and web server manage for you. This enables team to quickly develop and test the key function without the headache typically associated with in-house infrastructure management. So most of the things are managed for you by the cloud vendors. The fast model of cloud computing debuted in 2014 with startups like Hook.io. Cloud providers such as Google, Amazon, Microsoft, AWS, and Azure also provide suites with frameworks such as Google Cloud Function, AWS Lambda, and Microsoft Azure Functions. In fast model, developers can write code functions on demand without being hindered by dependencies on existing applications. The code is then executed on remote servers in response to an event, such as users interacting with functional web elements. Once the function is completed, FAAS shuts down, unlike traditional cloud model in which applications and server runs continuously. So, if we'll talk about the difference in case of SaaS and in case of FAAS, so in case of infrastructure, we have the infrastructure managed by the cloud vendors, but apart from that, function, data, application, runtime, operating system, all is managed by you. In case of PaaS, we cloud vendor manages infrastructure, operating system, runtime, but the functions, data, and applications is managed by you. And in case of FAAS, infrastructure, operating system, runtime, environment, and application, these are managed by the cloud vendors, and you need to manage just your function and the data. And if you have your own infrastructure, then you need to manage all these things yourself. So how FAAS fits in SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS model? So cloud computing features are a growing mix of as a service offering that creates an alphabetic soup of acronyms such as IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. But how does FAAS fits in? Infrastructure as a service handles compute, storage, and network resources. Software as a service delivers an on-demand application. Platform as a service is a development and deployment environment geared towards building and testing cloud-based applications. FAAS, on the other hand, takes the PaaS approach one step further. Function as a service allows companies to develop and deploy specific functions that underpin, large applications and then activate them on demand. So you don't need to manage any servers here. Server is managed by the cloud providers. So it is a kind of serverless where like if you have used AWS Lambda or Microsoft Azure functions, you need to write the code and the web server and whatever is needed to run will be managed by the vendors. So in a typical architecture, user when will try to call it. So from API gateway, it will directly route to the Lambda functions on AWS, which then accesses storage, data, and other things, authentication, authorization, etc. So what are the principles and best practices? So first is make each function perform only one actions. So fast functions should be designed to do a single piece of work in response to an event. Make your code scope limited, efficient, and lightweight so function load and executes quickly. Second best practice and principle is don't make functions call other functions. The value of fast is in the isolation of functions. Too many functions will increase your cost and remove the value of isolation of your functions. Third is use as few libraries in your function as possible. Using too many libraries can slow function down and make them harder to scale. Advantage of FAAS. So it focus on more on code and less on infrastructure or no infrastructure. So with FAAS, you can divide the server into functions that can be scaled automatically and independently so you don't have to manage infrastructure. This allows you to focus on the app code and can dramatically reduce time to market. Second is pay only for the resources you use when you use them. So with FAAS, you pay only when an action occurs. When the action is done, everything stops, no code runs, no server idles, no costs are incurred. FAAS is therefore cost effective, especially for dynamic workload or scheduled tasks. FAAS also offers a superior total cost of ownership for the high load scenarios. So what are some of the disadvantages of FAAS? So disadvantage includes Reduce control, because a third party manages part of the infrastructure. IT teams gives a measure of control over system architecture. Second disadvantage is increased testing complexity, because fast functions exist in the cloud, so local application testing can become more complex and time consuming. And third is limited visibility, given the on again off again nature of fast deployment. Comprehensive visibility is a challenge, especially as the total number of functions grows. So typical serverless architecture looks like this, where you have a lot of functions which can interact with multiple services, which can include authentication layer, or which can include database layer. So how FAAS works? So what is FAAS in cloud computing? It is a type of cloud computing that reveals the developer of the need of managing application infrastructure. When developers use the FAAS platform, it creates, runs, and manages application package on their behalf. FAAS is a type of so-called serverless service. This is the name of category of compute service, which includes computing, storage, database, messaging, API gateway, etc., in which the configuration and management of servers are invisible to the end user. That is, FAAS and serverless as service are not synonymous. It is important to note that the word serverless should be understood correctly. Real server computers made of metal plastic chips are not going anywhere. They still continuously hit the air in the depths of data centers. Another thing is that the user of serverless service is remotely abstracted from everything connected with the real servers. Let's see how FAAS is implemented on different cloud vendors. So with AWS, Azure, and Google. So in case of AWS, which is provided by Amazon, it gives you Lambda, AWS Lambda, convenient computing platform with a wide variety of applications from Amazon Web Service. AWS Lambda supports Java, Node.js, Python, C#, and Go programming language, which is not, and it is not suitable for smaller projects. In case of Google Cloud Functions, which is ranked among the world's leading fast service providers worldwide, provides a means and environment for running functions code without any server management or administration. Google Cloud Functions allows you to use Google and third-party services as building block for your code. In case of IBM, IBM gives you IBM Cloud Functions. The platform allows you to run the internal application code without using servers. IBM Cloud Functions charges the user for their time it takes to execute their code. If the code is not executed, then you don't need to pay anything. In case of Microsoft, it gives you Azure Functions. It has no restriction in building and deploying features in any particular language or servers. You can use any programming language or frameworks such as .NET, Node, Python, Java, etc. Alibaba, which is another cloud provider that also have Alibaba Functions. The peculiarity lies in the fact that the distributed cluster of the platform are located in different places. If one zone become unavailable, then the Alibaba cloud computing features provides shift you to the other resources from the other working zone. So whether you should use FAAS or not. So if you're asking to yourself, do I need FAAS and will it bring any positive solutions to my work in every day? So you should discover more details about it. Whether it will benefit you or not. Uh, like every other tool, it depends on what you need to use it for. So FAAS is an excellent choice for centralization of functions implementation, while it is also has the benefit of scaling the implementation. This further means that if you need numerous instances running at the same time, the provider will handle that for you. With the help of FAAS, managing services is no longer your problem. The platform manages horizontal scaling for you, and you only have to pay for what you use. So these are the benefits that you will get. So decide accordingly whether you should use FAAS or not. By managing the servers for you, FAAS abstract the server platform away from your application too. You can write your function in almost any language. You can access other cloud resources like database and cache. FAAS versus serverless. Serverless and function as a service FAAS are often conflated with one another, but the truth is that FAAS is actually a subset of serverless. Serverless is focused on any service category, be it compute, storage, database, messaging, API gateway, etc., where configuration management and billing of servers are invisible to the end user. FAAS, on the other hand, while perhaps the most central technology in serverless architecture, is focused on the event-driven computing paradigm, wherein application code or containers only run in response to events or requests. So in summary, we can say that FAAS is an important feature which has important feature of protecting you from managing the servers. FAAS simulates new approaches to organization and doing business. And the Coca-Cola company is already using a serverless service based on Lambda, step function, and API gateway for the dissemination of nutritional information in the field of catering. FAAS belongs to a category of CCS cloud computing service, which provides a platform for customers to develop, run, and manage applications, doing so without the complex maintenance and building of infrastructure that is usually associated with the development and launch of an app. Building the app while following this model is a way to achieve a serverless architecture. This model is most used for building microservices. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you think the videos are helpful, do like the video and subscribe to the channel.